fly.
You beat me once, but that's a long time ago.
What's up, guys? Is 1080p at 30 frames per second bad? The topic of this video stems from the comments that I was seeing on NXG's detailed analysis video of the extended Uncharted 4 demo from E3. It's a great video, you should go check it out. But anyways, in the comments you have these PS4 owners who are obviously extremely excited and hyped for the game. But then of course you have the PC and Xbox guys who basically in a nutshell are trying to downplay the whole thing. Basically because it's something they're never going to get their hands on. They're pretty much jealous, just to be frank about it. That's what it seems like anyway. But one of the more common downplays of the demo is that the game runs in 30 frames per second. And I mean, there was even this one guy who had the audacity to say that even at 1080p it looks bad. Now, I'll get to the frame rate in a second, but just to say that 1080p looks bad in any way is just comical. I mean, 1080p has basically been the highest regarded industry standard for nearly the past 15 years, and sure, you can get certain devices and hardware that can exceed 1080p resolution, but that doesn't mean there's anything bad about 1080p. 1080p still looks nice as fuck. Now, the way I see it is it's kind of like this. If you were to take a compass, you know those little things where you put the pencil in one end and the other end has a little point and you can draw a perfect circle? Well, you take one of those and you draw a circle, and it's a pretty damn nice circle, okay? Then I take the compass from you, and I widen it just a little bit, and I draw my own circle, which is slightly bigger than your circle, which is also a pretty fine-ass looking circle. So is my circle better than yours just because it has a greater radius? Or is it better because it has a bigger diameter? I don't think so. They're both still nice looking circles. As far as frames go, people seem to be under this consensus that 30 frames per second is bad and 60 frames per second should be the industry standard. Well, I've been playing video games for 27 years, okay? And until these two new consoles came out, I never heard a peep, okay? Rarely, very rarely did I hear anything about frame rates. And now that's all people freaking talk about. And you know, these consoles come out, they have PC architecture in them, and people think that they should be able to do everything a PC can do. Wrong. They're still fucking consoles, okay? And they're limited by their hardware, but they're not limited by their experiences as far as, you know, the creativity developers have and the games that we're able to play on them. Personally, I prefer first-person games at 60 frames per second because I feel from that perspective it is a lot easier to notice the difference in smoothness, but for third-person games, I would much prefer a game in 1080p at a steady locked 30 over a game that's 900p or 720p or whatever, but 60 frames per second where it has dips and drops and, you know, stutters all the time. You know, even with The Last of Us Remastered, which had the ability to switch between 30 and 60 FPS at the cost of some small details, I found I was playing and enjoying it more at 30 FPS. 60 did look smoother, but the slight downgrade in graphics wasn't worth the slight upgrade in smoothness, not to me anyway, and I know people disagree with me, and that's fine, but the game still plays and operates smooth and fluently at 30 frames per second. You know what I mean? People act like 30 frames per second is unplayable and so horrible, yet there's 17 million registered users playing an average of 3 hours daily on Destiny, and that's a 30 frames per second first-person game. So to have that many loyal and dedicated fans goes to show you that 30 frames is indeed playable, and the majority of people really don't have a clue or notice the difference between that and other 60 frames games like Call of Duty. So lately, yeah, there's been a lot of these PC dorks saying they're enjoying true gaming because they can play 1440p at 60 frames per second. I mean, is 1440-60 really going to make the experience that much better than 1080p 30? Here's an analogy for you, okay? It's kind of like putting two hot women side by side. One woman has slightly larger breasts than the other, and the one with larger breasts has a degree in chemical engineering, while the other one has a degree in law. So, do you see these women because of the size of their breasts and how much money they make? Or do you see them for their personalities and the experiences they can provide you? You know what I mean? So, one thing I know for sure though is, and this is the bottom line here, one thing I know for sure is if your PC can do 8K at fucking 500 frames per second or whatever without a single frame rate drop, you still can't play Uncharted 4. And that's the bottom line really here, right? So if you care so much about how many frames are rendered each second that you're going to deny how awesome and thrilling that Uncharted demo is, then your priorities as gamers, sorry, they're wrong. I'm just bluntly putting it like that. So that's going to be it for this video though, guys. I hit 3K subs recently. And I'm gonna do something special for you guys, most likely a giveaway. I'm just trying to work out some details and such, but it's coming soon, and it will be for my subs only because it is to celebrate 3,000 of you crazy motherfuckers. But that's gonna be it for me for now. I'm Vile Self. Thank you guys for watching. Leave a comment, hit that like button, and subscribe if you're new to my channel. Until next time, villains. Later.